What's up, YouTube? It is your boy, JB, and I am here with the review for Real Housewives of Potomac. This is Season 5, Episode 10. The episode was titled Sorry, Not Sorry. So you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this episode review, shall we? Alright, you guys, so let's start up with Candace. So, this is 5 days after the fight at the barn with she and Monique. So, we see her, she's at home, she's cleaning up, and, she's very much so still in her feelings about what happened between she and Monique. She's hurt and upset just because of the relationship that, she and Monique have with each other because Monique, called her sister. This kind of similar to Nene and Portia, minus the fact that those who have never fought with each other. So then we do see later that Candace goes to see her therapist, Dr. Ken, and she's telling Dr. Ken exactly what happened in this fight with Monique about her and Monique. They were going back and forth at one point. So Dr. Ken was like, "So you engaged with her?" She's like, "Yeah, but." No, Candace, there were no buts. Say, yes, I did engage with Monique. I was gonna say but there's no but. Yeah, but say, yes, I did engage with her. However, that's still in place of but. Yes, I did engage with her. Now, I wasn't the one that, took it physical. That was her. But yes, I definitely did engage in the situation with her. And, she's telling her, from her recollection is much better than Monique's recollection, which we'll get to that in just a little bit about Monique. She was talking about the fact that she and Monique were going back and forth with one another. She also said the fact that, Monique said, "Get your hands out of my face." So Dr. Kim was like, "Well, were your hands in her face?" Candace said, "No, that my hands were not in her face," which is true. Candace's hands were not really in her face. I mean, she did like this and stuff, but Monique was actually the one who had her hands up first, so it wasn't Candace. So then she said, I asked her, "Are you gonna drag me?" And then she says the fact that she flipped her hair, and then she said that she grabbed for Monique's vest. So and they showed the camera footage of it. You can see Candace reaching for her vest, but then you also see Giselle's hand pushing Monique. And then that's when, Monique grabbed Candace's hair and just started hitting her. And, now Candace is afraid. I was I was a little bit skeptical. I'm like, are you really afraid? But then I had to think about it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is Candace's first fight. And, maybe she don't know what to expect from it. But, even after my first fight, I wasn't afraid of the person. I beat him. Well, even if he had beat me up, I wouldn't have been afraid of him. It's like we fought. I mean, it was coming to a head, so we fought, and it is what it is. But like I said, my first fight, I beat his ass because he was fucking with me. Like anytime I've had a fight with somebody, it's not because I picked at them or messed with them. It's because you fucked with me, and I get eventually fed up with it, and I just wail on your ass. So then Candace is also talking about the fact that Monique has not reached out to her since the fight happened, but she's got her people coming at after her because we saw in the blogs the whole story. Well, half of it, actually not even a true story of what happened in this fight. And we're gonna talk about the the blogs in a little bit, and then social media, people calling her a guinea pig face. Now I get not liking people, but goddamn, social media is just the devil. It's just like, really, I don't understand people on social media. You feel emboldened to say some shit that you probably would never say to people's faces. It's just mind blowing to me. But let's move on. All right, you guys. Next, let's talk about Monique. So Monique, she is with Chris and the kids, and she is talking about the fact that she's tired. She needs a break, and she's talking about the fact that she wants to meet up with the girls, minus Candace, and just talk about what happened because she's still basically at this point piecing things together. And but the thing that bothers me with her in this piecing things together is you're not necessarily piecing things together because you're saying what happened from your point of view, a little bit skewed, but you're repeating what you're, I mean, like, because, it's like she'll say, oh, I remember the wine glass, and then after that, I hit her, but then after that, I black out. But then after that, I remember grabbing her hair, but then I black out. But then I remember being with the producers, but then I did this, but then I did that. It's just a little weird to me. Like, I get it. I mean, I know sometimes we can do things and we don't always remember everything that we do, but in this situation, it's just like, I think you do remember. I think you're just trying to I think you're just trying to, what's the right word I want to say? I feel like she's trying to distance herself from it just a little bit, but it's just like, you remember things. It's just not the way that it happened. Because you remembered the wine glass. You remember grabbing her hair, but that's not the correct sequence of how the events happened. So I kind of look at Monique a little differently, but not that much differently. I just look at her differently with this situation. And then she calls Karen and she tells Karen that she wants all the girls to get together, with the exception of Candace. Now, here's one thing that I do want to bring up, because it was just on Saturday, the video popped up on my YouTube page. The interview that she did with Richie Sky. Now, with the interview with Richie Sky, I just was a little frustrated with it, and I'm gonna tell you guys why I was frustrated with the interview with him. It's because I didn't feel like she was taking account. I mean, she was saying that she's looking at things differently, but it just didn't feel like that she was owning up to or taking accountability for her actions in this situation. I don't feel like either one of the ladies have taken accountability for their part in it. Because yes, although I do think that Monique has has more weight with the situation, Candace also has some shit in this as well. Like, they're both wrong, but I fault Monique more than I do Candace. I was just watching her interview and I was just like, she's not owning up to everything. And she was talking about her friend Gigi. She was talking about Giselle, and it's just like, I still don't understand this, because you talk about that plot twist where they were supposed to say that your baby wasn't Chris's, but if that's the issue, if that is in fact the issue, why didn't you hit Giselle? Why didn't you hit Robin? Why haven't you hit Sharice? Like, she was also on Watch What Happens Live, and a viewer asked the question of, when is the last time that she saw Sharice, and have they talked to each other? So she said that the last time she saw Sharice was, oh God, I'm gonna fuck it up, because she saw Sharice she saw Sharice when Nene opened up her store at the MGM Grand down there, I forgot where she opened up the store at. And she said the fact that she saw Sharice, she didn't talk to her, but when it comes down to taking pictures, she's cool with it. She can be in the picture with her, but not have a conversation with her. And I'm confused. That is the confusing part for me. You can be in the picture with Sharice, who is probably one of the reasons that we know about this whole situation with the trainer, but yet instead with Candace, you fight her. It doesn't add up, Monique. That's my problem. A lot of stuff just doesn't add up with Monique. I like Monique, but things are just not adding up for me. And it's just like, okay, at this point, I'm just gonna take a step back, because it doesn't. If it doesn't make sense to me, then I'm lost. But let's move on, you guys, because talking about that again, because even listening to it didn't make sense. You're cool to be around Sharice, but you were upset at Candace about Sharice. And hell, you weren't even mad at Ashley because she was at Ashley's baby shower, which was before this season even started filming. None of this shit makes sense. But I said I was moving on a few minutes ago. I'm really moving on now. All right, you guys. So we see all the ladies. They're getting ready to go over to Karen's house so that they can have this conversation with Monique. We see Wendy. I think she was talking to her husband. I don't know who Robin was talking to. We saw Giselle talking to her daughters, and I don't understand why the fuck she was talking to those girls. They are 13 and 14 years old. What the? Giselle obviously doesn't have any real true friends. So then we see Karen. Karen calls Candace and she tells her, like, hey, Monique and the girls are coming over. Monique, she says, I feel like you both need to tell your side of what happened to the ladies. So she says, if you want to come over, my house is a safe place. You can come over and we can definitely, hear you out as well. And Candace says, well, Karen, thank you so much for the invite, but I've already talked to the ladies, and, she feels like Monique showed who she really is. Do I agree with that? Not necessarily, because I didn't agree with her calling her a ghetto bitch and all that stuff. I didn't agree with that. So I'm not going to say that Monique necessarily showed who she is. I think what I will say is Monique showed her side of herself that she probably did not want people to see. That is what I'll say. But I don't think Monique showed who she truly is. I still, think the Monique that we see, bits and pieces of it, I still think that's the true Monique. But I mean, we all have a different side to us that we probably don't want to come out. And I think that this happened with Monique. I do wish that Monique had I wish Monique walked away, or even Candace walked away. One of them. I wanted one of them to walk away from the situation because it didn't have to happen the way that it happened. So then we see all the ladies show up. Now, Giselle, you doing the most. You are absolutely doing the most. Bringing a security guard or bodyguard or whatever you want to call KB, that was overkill. Like, really? Honestly, I wish Monique had hit you now. And I don't advocate for violence, but God, I mean, come on, Giselle, really, is it that deep? So, like I said, all the ladies show up. Giselle, it was Robin and Wendy and Ashley and the baby. So when Ashley got there, she said that, she had met up with Monique, and Monique was just talking about how she's not happy about her actions. And Robin was like, well, that's kind of interesting. That's a contradiction because, she's on social media saying, ask and you shall receive. And then they also talk about the whole thing being in the blogs. And I remember this being in the blogs because I talked about it in my Real Housewives of Atlanta review. And even based on that blog, I was on Monique's side then because of what that blog said. The fact that Candace and her were and got into it. The fact that Candace threw the wine in her face. I'm like, well, shit, if Candace threw something in her face, then Candace got the ass whooping that she was deserving. But looking at the footage, it's not how Monique. Well, I'm not gonna say it was Monique. Other people might say it was Monique, but how it was in the blogs, it was one-sided, and it was geared toward Monique and not toward Candace, and it didn't give a full depiction of what happened. And then they also keep running with this narrative of the angry black woman. Now, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with. I mean, white people fight as well. It's just people want to look at us differently when we fight. But white people do it all the time. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure the cops go visit white people's houses a lot for domestic abuse. So yeah. I'm tired of this whole narrative at this point. And then I didn't agree with them talking about she wasn't a good role model for her daughter. And that, I didn't think they should have said that. I think they could have kept that comment to themselves. And then, I was was watching Richie Sky's video. I saw some comments about you guys cheered on Portia for dragging Kenya, but Monique is a different story. Well, those are different situations as well. You guys have to remember, Portia was at the reunion with Kenya. Kenya had props. Kenya was antagonizing her, putting things in her face, and boom, she got popped. Well, she got pulled. Well, actually, she did get drugged. Now, Candace and Monique, this is a different situation because Monique actually started the situation by putting her hands up, and then Candace put her hands up. So it's kind of on both of them. It's on both of them, but Monique is the one that started it. Kind of like Candace started it with Portia. You guys can disagree with me, that's fine. So Monique finally shows up. And, she tells the girls that, she's embarrassed and ashamed because that's not who she is. And, she says that, she doesn't want to be judged by this one thing. And then she apologizes to the ladies. So, and she says, could this happen again? Probably. And then Giselle takes her phone out and starts, I'm taking notes. I'm like, Giselle, it's not that. Oh, God. In this episode, Giselle annoyed me. Utterly annoyed me. Because Monique said, she blacked out and, she didn't remember much. But what she did remember was that wine glass hitting her, the wine glass and the wine. And then she swung. And so, I was actually kind of glad. I was happy that Robin chimed in and said, that's not entirely true. Candace had white wine, and the wine that was in your face was red wine. It was because of, pulling her on the table and the wine, splashing up in your face due to the velocity. I'm like, oh, velocity? Listen to Robin. And, they also talk about the blogs. And Monique says, well, I didn't say anything to the blogs. And they were like, but it's very one-sided towards you. And she says, well, I did talk to somebody about, the wine, but that was 2 days later. And they was like, okay, Monique, like, do you realize that this happened on Wednesday? And then 2 days later, you're in the blogs and you just said to us that you told somebody 2 days later. 212, Monique. You told someone, and now it's in the blogs. And, as she was defending her at one point, saying that, there were people in the barn, how do we know that they didn't put it out there? Now, I can understand where Ashley was coming from because we did see the video, but the thing is, how would, even if it was a fan, how would they know verbatim what happened? I mean, they probably could hear everything, but to say that Candace threw the wine in Monique's face, it was just, no, that wasn't someone that was just there. It was someone that was there. It was someone that was involved in it. I really do feel, I do feel at this point that was Monique or someone on her team that put that out there. So then Giselle wants to go down memory lane talking about the things that Monique has said. Season 2, she was talking about the fact that she should have punched Giselle in the face when she was in her house, being a rude ass. Then the next season, when they were on the street and she had that umbrella up to Robin's neck. And then, last season when she told Candace she would drag her pregnant and all. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, Giselle, you are being a true hypocrite. Have you forgotten the fact that you and Robin went to Ashley's restaurant, Oz, and got in her face? Okay. Miss me with the bullshit, Giselle. Why did you even come? Like, you had your mind made up that you weren't here for Monique. So why did you come? That's what I'm not understanding. So Giselle does leave, come, she's not, by no means do I want to be around you. I want to go like, that's fine. You can go. In Karen's house. But, and then Giselle talking about, she and Jamal have an image to uphold. What image is that? I mean, that nigga is down there, that nigga is philandering with the parishioners having babies on you. But y'all got an image to uphold. Okay. If you say so. If you say so. Okay, so then Monique. She kind of mentions that maybe, right now, maybe she doesn't need to be around the group. And Ashley was like, temporarily, she says, maybe for good. And she says, if you guys have any events and you just know that you can invite Candace and you don't have to worry about inviting me. It's all good. Which I know she didn't go on a cast trip. I think this is actually probably going to be the last time that we see her film with the ladies all season. I think this is going to be the last time. But yeah, that is going to wrap it up for me, you guys. Be sure to like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything else. Share this video. And until the next one, you guys, do me a favor. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Wear your mask. And until the next one, you guys, I will see you guys later.